Tuesday, October 13th, and yesterday we talked about percentages with double number lines. Today we're going to find percentages using tape diagrams, okay? So if you'll take a minute and write down your learning target, let's use tape diagrams to understand percentages, okay? Pause the video and put that in your notes, please. Okay, so we've got something here, and this is a notice and wonder problem. What do you notice? And what do you wonder? I'll give you a minute to think about it. Well, the first thing that I notice is that 80 is 100%. 80 is the whole thing, right? So I wonder what happens if I break this down into 4 parts. Well, 80 divided by 4 is 20 in each part, right? 20 in each part. What percent would each part be? Well, what's 100 divided by 4? Well, 100 divided by 4 is 25. So each one of these would be 25%. 25% and 25%. So don't the 4% equal 100? Don't the 4 units equal 80? So there you go. I'm done. Okay? We didn't have a color copy. There are 2 rectangles that are the same length. Yeah, so they're representing the same whole. It does look like a tape diagram. 4 pieces of equal length. That should be a big clue for you. One of them is labeled 80. That's another clue. Okay? What do tape diagrams have to do with percentages? Well, we can use them to solve percentages. We're going to skip over the colors. What does this situation represent? Well, it could represent a lot of things. It could represent ounces in, ounces of Dr. Pepper, a can as opposed to a bottle, a 1 liter as opposed to a 2 liter, okay? What percentage should be used in place of the question mark? Well, 3, if you'll look back, the brackets were around 3 of the percents. So 3 of the percents would represent only 75%. Okay? All right, so here we go. One of my favorite topics, puppies. Jada has a new puppy that weighs 9 pounds, and it is about 20% of its adult weight. So here's the diagram that Jada drew about the weight of her puppy. Okay? So this we know from the problem, 9 pounds and 20%. Okay, 9 pounds is 20%. The adult weight of the puppy will be 45 pounds. How can you see that in the diagram? I want you to take a minute and think about that. Okay, so if you said, well, I have 5 units and each one of them is 9, and that equals 45, you would be correct. 5 units at 9 pounds would be 45 pounds. Okay, so what fraction of its adult weight is the puppy now? Well, what is it? 1 out of 5. 1 out of 5. This represents the weight now. This represents the adult weight. Okay? Now, Jada's friend also has a dog. Her dog weighs 90 pounds. Okay? So Jada drew a diagram that represented her dog's weight and the weight of her puppy. Okay? How many times greater is the dog's weight than that of the puppy? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 times, right? There are 10 nines here There's only one 9 here, so it's 10 times greater. Compare the weight of the puppy and the dog using fractions. The weight of the puppy. How many 9s? 1. How many of these? Remember, a fraction is a part to whole relationship. How many is here? Well, it's going to be 1/10. So 1/10 is what percent? 1/10 is 1%. Now, if I drew a double number line, let's do this. If I drew a double number line, okay, let's do percent. This is 100. And 50 is going to be in the middle. 40, 30, 20, 10, 60, 70, 80, 90. This is going to be 10, right? Isn't that the whole thing? Let's see. The whole thing, right? So we're only going 10 if we broke this into 10 sections. Each section, what are we going to skip count by? Well, we're going to skip count by what? If you said ones, you would be correct. If you said ones, this is 5, right? Half the weight would be 5. So 1 out of 10 would be 10%. 1 out of 10 would be 10%. Okay? So but yesterday I showed you how to set this up using a proportion. Okay? So let's look at a proportion here. Okay? A proportion. What was my fraction? My fraction was 1 out of 10. My percent, my whole percent is always 100, right? This is what's missing. Can't I cross multiply and then divide by 10? So what would I get? I would get 10%. Okay? 10%. Questions? Okay? Here's the, the fancy explanations. If you want to pause the video and read these, please feel free to do so. Okay? So let's look at this. Complete the statement with a situation and a unit of your choice, then answer the question and draw a diagram. I'm going to use scoop because I've got my mind on ice cream. A small scoop holds 75% as much as a large scoop. Okay? If the small unit holds 36 units, okay, I first am going to draw a couple of rectangles. Okay? This one is going to be 75%. Well, 100, the whole thing's got to be 100, right? So this is going to be 25%, 25%, and 25%. 36 is also divisible by 3. So how much is going to be in each one? 12, 12, 12, and 12. So how much will the large one hold? The large one will hold 48 units. Okay? Well, how did I do that again? Let's set up a proportion. Tape diagrams and double number lines are great strategies. A proportion is a great strategy too. How am I going to set this up? I'm going to have percent on one side, 75 over 100 equals, okay, where does my 36 go? Numerator, denominator. Does my 36 relate to 75% or to the 100%? Well, if you said 75%, you would be correct. So here's what I've got. 36, boom. I'm going to cross multiply 100 times 36, and then I'm going to divide by 75. And if you get your calculator out and going, you should come up with 48 units. Okay? Any questions? So go ahead, if you would, please work on IXL S11 percents of numbers. This has to do with word problems. Okay, signing off for now. See you soon.